Hey everyone, what's going on? Jeff here from Films at Home. Today I got another 4K review to do for you. Another Warner Brothers catalog title has come to 4K. They have been pumping out 4K titles lately, and today we're taking a look at the animated classic Space Jam on 4K Blu-ray. So I'll dive into the visuals, the audio, talk about packaging and special features here, and really whether or not this is going to be worth upgrading from your previous Blu-ray or DVD or whatever you may have in your collection. We'll take a look at all that in this review. So if you like that sort of stuff, if you're collecting movies, Blu-ray, 4K, home theater stuff, please subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And now let's jump right into it. So Space Jam here. If you don't know Space Jam, I'll give you a quick background on the movie because it does have a big impact on the review and especially the picture quality. But basically the movie talks about the story of Michael Jordan, obviously the famous, maybe the greatest basketball player of all time, certainly in my opinion he is. And he gets involved with the Looney Tunes in a basketball game because some aliens came down to Earth and stole the talent from other NBA players, Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, Muggsy Bogues, Larry Johnson, and Sean Bradley. So if you know the NBA, those guys are kind of legends. They stole their talent. They're playing a game against the Looney Tunes for control of the Looney Tunes world, and they recruit Michael Jordan, who's been retired and has been playing baseball, to come back and play basketball with the Looney Tunes against these super aliens with all this basketball talent. So yeah, the synopsis, if you've never watched the movie, sounds crazy. But what that means is that there's a lot of screen time with people, real people, and then animated characters. So it's very interesting in that aspect. The movie actually won some awards, I believe, for special effects. And I'm going to put some stats up here on the special effects that were done for this release. I mean, crazy amounts of CG work and animation for a movie that came out in 1996. I mean, this was at the time as technologically advanced as maybe any movie out there. It's Roger Rabbit on steroids, and it really, did very well and has become a kind of cult classic and very nostalgic movie for a lot of people who are my age. So given that you've got a lot of, 64 minutes of the movie are, some sort of CG animation along with real people, and that only leaves about 20 minutes for, just typical film, and that film is 35 millimeter. So this is a new 4K restoration, and the parts without the animation, they actually look really solid. There's a definite improvement in a lot of the quality. The colors are a little bit better. I remember the Blu-ray being not that great. It honestly wasn't that good a transfer, and this certainly improves on it. The Blu-ray to me honestly looked like they just took a DVD transfer and upscaled it a little bit. This is clearly a 4K master. You can see in the opening sequences where there's definitely more focus on humans versus animation, where there's a lot of great quality and a very nice upgrade. Then things get interesting when you start to see more of the animation come in, and then you start to see, people like Michael Jordan, Bill Murray, up against the CG background, right? Because almost everything is CG. The gym they're playing in is completely CG, and it's just Michael Jordan, being placed in front of that CG background. But it actually looks pretty good. My expectations were really low because I was expecting this to look terrible based on other early visual effects that I've seen, early CG, even optical effects from movies in the 60s, 70s, 80s before CG, and I was expecting it to be kind of rough. And while it does have a few rough moments, some of the animation actually looks really good. I think the HDR gives this a nice added pop, and that certainly helps when it comes to animation. That's maybe the biggest benefit. But honestly, the sort of green screen, CG backdrop, it didn't look too bad. You can definitely see there's softness around the edges of Michael Jordan in a lot of these scenes, and you see how soft, the animation is compared to him, and especially when they're sort of, either in a huddle together or being very close together within the scene. Obviously, there's issues there, but that's source limitation. It's not a limitation of the transfer, and it looks better than the Blu-ray did. It definitely exposes a few instances where, okay, that wasn't the best use of CG, or that wasn't the best visual effect over there. It has a few moments where you go, okay, that's very obvious, but that's to be expected. And I honestly was pleasantly surprised by this. Again, it's not going to be a reference quality disc or anything, but the Blu-ray to me was so poor that this is just a big leap in the right direction. So while there's certainly instances that are going to look soft, out of focus, have a little bit of a soft glow around the edges of some of the human characters, like that's all to be expected. But overall, this visual transfer is probably better than it should be. There clearly was some actual restoration work here done. I think even on the animated CG side of things, they clearly have used that HDR color grading and updated the master here. So I can appreciate what they did. This was not an easy movie to bring to 4K, and I was, like I said, expectations were so low, but I think this it definitely met my expectations and exceeded them. And so compared to the Blu-ray, this is a pretty decent upgrade. Now the audio side of things also gets upgraded here with a new Dolby Atmos track, so that's always nice to see. Previously we had DTS HD 5.1, but this new Atmos track actually sounds really good. There's a lot of great musical moments in this movie, which I guess is kind of maybe surprising to some people, but you know, I Believe I Can Fly, there's a big instance of that in the beginning of the movie, especially in the beginning of the movie with the highlight reel and the Michael Jordan sort of highlight reel opening credits. Sounds great. A lot of the action, you know, the surround effects are clearly in use here, and they have made some adjustments to, you know, play with that object based surround, play with the heights a little bit. Like, they did increase the sound space. Again, I don't think that there was a ton to work with. It's definitely the music that stood out to me the most, but it's always nice to have that Atmos track. Dialogue's nice and clear, and it's very well balanced. So I give them credit for upgrading that as well. They didn't just stick with what they had. They pushed the limits, and I think they did a pretty good job. Really, audio and video, for me, expectations were like, I thought this might have been an absolute crap disc, and they surprised me with this one. Now packaging, we've just got this release here with the slip cover, same artwork on the inside, and then on the inside, you know, just real basic, no discard or anything. There is a digital copy that comes with it, which should redeem in 4K. And then the special features are available as well, but they were all previously available. It's a commentary that actually has Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck along with the director. So it's obviously just the guys doing their voices, but they're in character, so that's kind of funny. And that's on the 4K disc. And then on the Blu-ray, you get the Jammin' with Bugs Bunny and Michael Jordan featurette in the 2 music videos, Fly Like an Eagle and Monsters Anthem, Hit 'em High, and then the theatrical trailer. So not a huge, you know, amount of special features here. Not sure what there could have been, but I would have liked to see something on the visual effects and how they made this movie, because like I said, at the time, it was a technological marvel. Even I'm going to put this up again here, but read this one section about how they did the basketball and how painstakingly difficult it was to have a Bugs Bunny pass a basketball to Michael Jordan. Really, really impressive stuff. So overall, I would say that this is one of those catalog titles that, you know, don't go in with expectations too high, but if you go in with your expectations set kind of low like me, I think you will be pleasantly surprised. It is by far the best the movie has ever looked. So if that's all you're looking for in a 4K release, this is clearly one to add to your collection. And it really had such a poor Blu-ray that I think it's a no-brainer upgrade over a DVD or a Blu-ray, because they never kind of remastered the Blu-ray. It was always very poor in my opinion, and this definitely improves upon that. I've also watched this movie on a streaming service before, and I can tell you the quality of what you got. I forget where it was, maybe Netflix, and I watched it once just because it was available. I was feeling nostalgic. I might have watched it on a plane or something just to kill some time. It looked terrible though. Like, the quality was really, really bad there as well. So this new 4K master is, you know, it really is a restoration. They clearly put some work in. And while I won't rank it up there, obviously, with like a top 10 release of the year, it's very well done. I give Warner Brothers credit. Obviously, it's coming out to promote the new Space Jam movie with LeBron. As you guys know, I think LeBron is trash, basketball, acting, you name it. I don't like him. So I'll always stick with the original. I like Michael Jordan as an actor. I like him as an athlete. I like him as a person, you know, all around. I like him better than LeBron. So this is always going to be my Space Jam. And I think you guys, you know, out there who are my age or really appreciated this movie growing up, you're going to really enjoy this 4K release. It's, you know, sort of like watching it again for the first time. So that's it for the review. If you guys want to pick this up, I'll leave a link to Space Jam 4K on Amazon. If you use that link, it helps support my channel, so I appreciate it. Also, make sure to check out on social media. All my different links are down in the description. I got Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. They're all down there, so follow me, send a message, interact with me there. It's a great way to build the community. And also, make sure you like the video and subscribe and have your notifications on so you know when I post new videos, because unfortunately, since this is just a side hustle for me, I am a little sporadic with when and where I post, so you're always going to want to have your notifications on to be up to date. But I appreciate Warner Brothers sending this out early so I could let you guys know about it. I think they did a pretty decent job. As long as your expectations are set accordingly, you'll have a good time with this release. So again, thank you for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Stay safe and healthy out there, and I'll talk to y'all soon.